Welcome back, Strictly Auburn fans. We are here to talk about some Auburn basketball. March Madness edition. It's the big dance. Auburn's got their dancing shoes on, so we're ready to go. They take on Iowa Thursday at 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
We are super excited for this game. We got Connor King, Jake Lazarus here, and me, Eli, so we are excited to talk about this game. But Iowa, coming off 2 back-to-back losses, so they're not looking too hot, but they're a highly efficient offense and a crappy defense, low-key, but we'll talk about how Auburn can attack them and how they match up well together. So, defense, let's talk about Iowa's defense first.
So they're a smaller team.
Yes.
Like you said, crazy efficient on the offensive
Crazy
side of the ball.
efficient, yeah.
But on the defensive side of the ball, that's where they've struggled in their last couple of games and this season overall. So for Auburn, look at your big men. Janai Broome is going to be key in this. He's going to be the biggest guy on the floor. He's going to be head and shoulders above anyone on Iowa. So
How tall is Janai?
Janai,
he's like 6'11", right?
He's 6'11",
Okay.
yeah.
The tallest guy on Iowa's team is 6'9", who actually plays. So a couple inches down low is going to be key for this. Is going to be key for Janai. So
right. So Auburn's struggled on the offensive boards in their last few games. If they struggled down the stretch, that's got to change against Iowa. And if there's any hope at making it run, so look for that. That's key for me.
Yeah, I mean, for you, what are you looking for how Auburn's offense to attack for Iowa's defense? I mean, Jake said they're really short, and one thing I do want to mention about Iowa, they play really bad on the road. So that's another big thing for Auburn is it's literally 2 hours away. It's in Birmingham, so we need the AU Jungle to really show out to give us that momentum.
Yeah. Let's go.
We need that. I know y'all are going to be at the game, so that's going to
sir.
be super high. Unfortunately, I won't. I'm broke after spring break. But that's all right. But, I mean, what do you want to see against Iowa's defense, offensive-wise, for Auburn?
One of the main things we need to do is spread the wealth. We actually talked about this earlier. Wendell Green, it would be awesome if we went for 25, but I want to see everybody go for their 6 to 10, and we have like 7 guys that are that way. Obviously, Janai's going to eat. He's probably going to get 15 to 20 points, but I just want everybody to take some shots and make their shots too. This Iowa defense is 280th out of 383 teams in the country, something like that. Awful. That's awful. We need to capitalize. We haven't played a defense that bad since November, so I think we just need to go in and we need to shoot the lights out 7 deep, 8 deep.
Yeah.
We can flip the script, though. On the offensive side of the ball, they're one of the most efficient teams in college basketball.
Yeah.
Like you said, on the road, they tend to struggle. They're 5-10 when they're not playing in Iowa in front of their home faithful. On the road, they average under 70 points a game, 69.7 points to be exact.
Yeah.
They're not very efficient on the offensive side, so we got to capitalize on that. We know that scoring 70 points, we're in the clear. If we can go out and score 70 points, that should be the benchmark. 70 points.
I don't think that's asking a lot for this Auburn team. I mean, we've been really streakier this season, and we've had games where we score 90-plus points, and everybody's just heating up. So hopefully we can get that kind of momentum coming out of the first game in March Madness. You want to see that kind of momentum to carry us through March Madness. But offensively for Auburn, I think, like you said, we have Janai. He's going to have a really, really good game. He's got to make all of his little shots. I want to see J-Dub have a good game, too. I mean,
Let's do it.
I want to see him shoot the ball. We haven't seen him shoot the 3 in a while, so I think I want to see him shoot the ball more from the 3 line. And I want him to. I don't want Wendell Green taking the last shot if it's needed. I think that needs to be said. I think he's taking the last shot way too many times, and it just doesn't seem like that's him. I don't think that's his character to take the last shot and hit a buzzer beater 3. I think he's more of a role player of having success in the earlier moments of the game. So for that, I think Auburn can look for that offense. So Janai and J-Dub to really succeed. Let's talk about defensively for Auburn and matching up with Iowa's offense. Like you said, they're really efficient when they're at home, but when they're away, they play poorly. I think they really ride or die on the 3. Mm-hmm. So they throw up a lot of shots, and if they're making them, they're making them, and if they're not making them, then they're not making them. So, what do you want to see from Auburn's defense versing up against Iowa's explosive offense?
I know I told you guys, but honestly, the biggest defense that Auburn's going to have is the jungle.
For sure.
Iowa struggled on the road. I keep mentioning that over and over and over. And it can't be said enough. It can't be overstated. The jungle's going to be huge. It's a virtual home game for Auburn. So if we can show up, rattle the Hawkeyes, their shooting percentages take a dip on the road significantly. They shoot almost, it was like 40%, like 4 percentage points less.
That's a huge number.
Over the course of the season, that's a big difference.
I mean, oh my gosh.
So they miss shots from all over the field. It's not just 3-point shots, but it's mid-range and around the bucket. So
Yeah, and I mean,
Jungle's got to be alive.
Another stat I just want to throw up here: Auburn is 5th best in the country for 3-point defense. So we know how to defend a 3. Right. So if Iowa's missing their shots, we should be able to take control defensively because we have really good 3-point defense. And then another stat I wanted to throw up: we're just overall our defense. We're 29th in defensive efficiency. So that's another big thing for Auburn's defense. We have to have the Jungle back in us. And we just got to play like we've been playing to our strengths this whole season. I mean, this whole season we've had pretty fair defensive games. We just can't close it out in the end. And it just kind of, with 4 minutes left, we just unravel. So that's the only thing I want to see from this defense.
Defensively, like, I completely agree with you. We need to stay on our toes. It seems like so many times we got up, 17 against Alabama, blew that lead, went to overtime, lost by 4 or 5. I think we know how to close out on defense.
Yeah.
We're 5th in the country. We know what we're doing. We need to mark man early on in the game, and then eventually, I know that McCaffrey's a really smart head coach. I know he's going to make changes throughout the game, like every head coach will. And I think we get caught lacking a lot when we're on man. We get super lackadaisical, stop closing out, and things like that. Yeah. We might need to switch to a 1-3-1 or 2-3 at some point. I know that's not always best to defend a 3, but just mix it up a little bit.
I mean, what do y'all think is Auburn's issue of not closing out games? I mean, like, what do you think leads to that? Because, like you said, we went up 17 against the best team in the country, and then we just unravel, and it seems like we forget how to play basketball. Like, what do y'all think?
Just get too comfortable.
It's such a flat energy on this team. The energy when we come out in the first half is the same in the second. It's the same if there's 5 minutes left and it's a tie game. It's high energy, but it's a flat energy. Well, there has to be this dip at some point in the game where you save up this reserve of energy when it's a big game. If there's 2 minutes left and you need a defensive stop, it has to be your biggest moment. You have to have this surge of energy, and you have to want it more than the guy standing across from you.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Jake, but I think coming out of the second half, we were down 15 the other day, and we came back, but we were right there with them until like 4 minutes left in the game, and then the energy just goes flat, and then Wendell Green throws up crazy shots, and Janai Brim's not making his shots down low, and guys like KD Johnson are just getting heated up, and then it's just left, and then KD's left with the whole game on his shoulders.
Flat energy doesn't mean no energy.
Right. Yeah.
Flat energy could be up here the whole time, right?
Yeah,
it's just flat. There's no stagnant of energy. It's just here the whole time, right?
Yeah.
It should look like that. You should have your high moments where your KD Johnsons are coming in and hitting wild buckets and whatnot. And you have your cold stretches, right? We know at some point in this game, Iowa's going to go on a run. They're going to hit a couple threes. Yeah. And they're going to get an M1, and we're going to be down. And it's on the coaching staff to pick everyone up, right?
And I think
guys like Zach and Wendell.
Another thing you mentioned, too, is the AU Jungle. That's where they're going to come in really huge. Like when you said, when the momentum's down, the energy's starting to tumble, that's when the AU Jungle comes in and gets the team back in its mojo. But, you're making great points, Jake. We have to have ups and downs, which is like every normal basketball team. You look at Bama, they've had, against us, they were down 17, and they rallied back and came and won the game in overtime. So,
Foul trouble also had to do with that, too.
Yeah.
I remember Janai, I think Janai fouled out with like 10 minutes to go.
Janai fouled out, Jalen Williams fouled out, Alan Flanagan fouled out.
Dylan probably fouled out, too.
The whole Auburn starting lineup.
We can't do that against Iowa. They will capitalize.
Oh, yeah. They get to the free throw a lot, too, don't
they hit their free throws at a similar clip that we do. Janai has to be the primary center in this game.
Yeah, and he can't have 2 or 3 fouls in the first half.
No, you're right.
They've been getting a fair split between him and Dylan. Dylan can't see more than like 10 minutes in this game. Janai is so much better on the offensive end than Dylan is. He's so much more versatile, can stretch the floor all the way out to the 3-point arc. Dylan doesn't have that in his game. He's good for racking up fouls and setting really good balls.
He actually did
and
come
he's
off
really good on the defensive end.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him. But Janai has to be the primary.
It might not be the game where Dylan's really going to shine at all.
No.
Especially on the Iowa offense. It's really fast, and it's going to be hard for him to keep it up with 6'9" and forward the whole time.
So I think just overall, defensively for Auburn, we have to slow them down from the 3-point, and then from the inside we have Janai. So I think he needs a lot of blocks too. He's got to be a presence in the paint, and then offensively, it's going to be Janai on the offensive side, too. I think he's got to play really good basketball down low. And we just got to hit our shots. Simple as that. What do y'all think is the overall key for the game? Janai? Janai Broom. That's the key to the game. Janai Broom.
2 keys for the game for Auburn. Janai Broom and Jalen Williams. I guess that's 2.
Yeah.
Janai is your key, right?
That's
He's your
the
difference
big
maker.
deal.
He's
I
your big
agree.
man. He's the guy that has to show up down low, make his easy buckets, that left-handed,
That's
whatever
all.
hook shot.
Hey,
That's
it
his-
works. It
yeah.
works.
It works for him. And 2, the jungle.
Yeah,
You gotta
the
be
jungle.
loud.
Oh,
If you're gonna be there and you're watching,
make
be
some
loud,
noise.
make
yeah.
noise. You're a game changer. We're
No, for
freaking
sure.
game changers.
For sure.
So,
What about you, Connor?
I have one key point, and that's consistency.
Yeah.
I would have said Janai Broom as well, but star power is important. I really want us to be consistent on both sides of the ball and both halves of the game. So
You want to do a score prediction? What do y'all think? Oh, this is good. This is gonna be fun. Jake, you go first. You go first.
over under 80 points for both teams. First off, I think.
Over, like both teams go over?
Yeah.
Oh, under.
Under
I
for
think
sure.
one over 80, one under 80. I think it's gonna be right around.
I think it's gonna be 78-74.
78,
That's a good
74.
score.
I think it's going to be a lot lower scoring than that. March Madness games are just typically
Yeah,
much
okay.
lower scoring. They're just
Okay.
faster,
So what are you
faster
thinking?
games. I think both teams stay in the 60s. I'll take 68-64 Auburn.
Okay.
We're going to pull out this one.
Okay.
I think we do. I think we do.
I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna say 81 to 78 Auburn.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we got all tight games.
Yeah.
We all got tight games. It's gonna be a
close
fun
game.
game to
Let's
watch.
It's gonna
But
be a good game.
I think that wraps it up. Hopefully Auburn wins, and we can talk about Houston next week, which would be
Well, it's actually gonna be this week.
oh, with the Saturday. But I mean,
we'll pop up with a Friday episode if we have to.
Yeah.
that
Real quick,
100%,
for sure.
100%. It's March Madness. We're gonna be popping out videos as much as we can, as long as Auburn keeps winning. But that is it for this Strictly Auburn episode. I appreciate y'all tuning in for us, and War Eagle.
War Eagle.